This is Sparta!
Understand that culturally, here in America is different.
It's totally different.
Yeah, than
Totally
it may be in Senegal.
Because when you look at like the Middle East, you look at Africa, you look at Asia, the percentage of domestic issues is like less than 1%. They don't have those issues. Because the roles are clear on the roles that the women play and the role that the men play. It's only here in Europe that everybody's everybody. It's how many genders here?
Limitless.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Like, where are the
I'm
roles?
okay with that.
Where are the roles? Like, who does what? And who's responsible for what? There's only one man, but then there's a million other genders that's not even male or don't even want to identify themselves as men. So it's like you already outnumbered. There's 15 men for 15 women for every one man on this earth. So it's already outnumbered. Then the men that is available, half of them are identified as something else.
I don't know about half. That's
Okay, let's say a quarter. Let's say a quarter, right? Let's
that's
say
a large number.
3/4.
Right, let's say 3/4, right? Or 1/4. Let's just say 1/4, right? That's
more than
You're in Atlanta.
Now think about that. That's another gender. That's gone. So now, I would say out of 4 quarters, 3/4 of the men aren't available. So now you only have a quarter of the men available. And then we're going to follow Spice's rule where each one of them would only be with one woman. Hey, tell me how many of these women would be out here with no man and how much chaos this world would create.
I gotta check these stats.
Right.
Yeah, check the stats.
In the world.
Don't listen
Check
to
the stats.
Akon. Don't listen to
Hold on,
Akon.
let
Check
me
the
see.
stats.
Let me ask ChatGPT.
Don't listen to Akon. Don't listen to Akon.
That's all I got from this.
There is enough
So
men
this is gonna be
on
good.
earth
Hold on.
for each man.
No, it's not.
I'm telling you.
That's not nature. It doesn't
Don't
work
listen
that
to
way.
him.
How many men are there to every woman in this world?
What's the ratio?
Because there's also aliens. We can't forget that. All right.
Try to give us something.
Let's see what it says. Okay, it is 101 men for every 100 women. I'm telling you.
No,
That's not even theoretical
No,
either.
it-
But that
okay.
doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
That doesn't even make sense. That's not nature. That's nature.
So you can't have one woman.
Where am I from? That don't even make sense.
It's so bad. I said, I gotta jump and check this.
Okay, no,
So you can't have one woman.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Hold on, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Now I'm curious. Okay, how many billion people on Earth?
Let me
Which
ask Chat.
first of all is completely false.
He's
but-
thinking,
How
his
many
fingers
billion
going like
people
this.
are there on this
He's
earth?
really thinking
No,
about
this is
it.
how we're gonna check it.
Okay, let's see. The world's population is a little over 8.2 billion people.
Okay. Wait, we still on ChatGPT?
About 4.1 billion men and 4.1 billion women.
Okay,
See?
okay.
That's bullshit.
No,
Now it's equal.
no.
Now it's equal. Now it's
It
equal.
says about.
About.
Now it's equal.
Approximately.
It's already false, so I can't believe that.
So,
now
so
let me see
you
something.
can't have
Hold on.
one
No,
woman.
you can't.
Go ahead.
There
It's
is enough
impossible.
men here to service us.
That's not even nature. It doesn't
I'm
work that way.
telling you.
That's saying that for every one tree,
I'm
so
telling
bad.
you.
It
He's
doesn't make
mad.
sense.
It's all his ego.
it doesn't. Because
So, as we can see, Akon is getting his butt kicked, right? They have him against the rope, so to speak. So, but what he is missing is that he's not blue pill aware. Well, he is blue pill. He has a blue pill mindset. So, what is really missing is that he's not red pill aware, right? So, I'm going to put on my red pill lens and really get into the breakdown. Akon is not totally wrong, right? Yes, there is a shortage of men. So he's not wrong. There is a shortage of men that the women desire. But on the surface level, it's more man to woman ratio in general is very close. It's very close in general, the man to woman ratio. Right? I'm not going to give you like exact stats and things because I'm going to go back into, I'm going to have to go into research, but I'm going to give you a percentage wise, that similar to if you research it, it will be similar percentage if actually, when we get the actual stats. But there's a shortage, the truth is there is a shortage of men compared to women in terms of what they desire. So let's say let's put it to now, we're going to use the maths 100 man to 100 woman, right? Based on the findings that they asked, chat GTPs like for every 101 woman, there's 100 man, something like that, right? So let's use 100 man to 100 woman ratio, still close enough. And we're going to use percentage. How many of the 100 man going to be a prospect for the 100 woman? That is where the maths come in. Most of the men out of the 100, like anywhere from maybe 60 to 75% of that list, not going to be like a pick for most of the 100 women. So you see where it starts to separate. So pretty much probably around 10% of the man, we should agree about 10 of those men will have the upper hand out of the rest of like say 90. Only 10 of those guys will have the upper hand, right? And those 10 guys can have will attract like most of the 100, maybe around 80% of that 100 category. So like about 80 of the women. So it's like, so the ratio is about pretty much like it's like about 10 to 80 in this sense. So it's like about 10 men will attract 80 of the women. Because those 10 men are pretty much everything that those women require. You know, they have the right, they have the job which gives them the right money, they have the status, they might have the height and looks and all, you know. Pretty much that's around 10% of the men, especially when they come on to the money part, that's where men really start to separate themselves, because most men not making enough money really that really stand out. Most men making average salaries, and most women are not looking for men with average salaries. So that's a fact. So it will narrow down to about 10% of the men will attract around 80% of the women. So that's where the red pill lens come in, that give you a more breakdown into what's really going on behind the surface, right? And let's say about the 20% of women who left, they will probably now have to see what they can get from maybe the next out of the next, say, like another 20 or so, the next 20 best men from that list. That's where that another 20% of women will leave back. That's where they will try to see if they can get the next 20 out of that list. Or even the women out of the 80 that didn't get selected, right, have to also fall into that category also. They have to fall into that category also. Because even the 20 women left would be like a less attractive women, so they will pretty much fall back way down the list, and they have to deal with the men that will pretty much are making the average salary, while the women that don't get the men that they want in the 10% or the 20, because they will have to fall more outside of the 10% bracket now, and see maybe they can try to get the top 20 guys or the top 25 guys. So it's a breakdown like that. Right, so that is what Akon is really missing. So he is not totally wrong, but he just doesn't have that awareness that of the red pill ideology. So yeah, so that's a breakdown.